Hello and welcome to Kump. You hear that creaking? I'm in a chair. Don't worry about the creaking. People want to know where I've been. I was giving people the opportunity to speak. That's what we're supposed to do. I'm allowing other voices. I'm not locked in a room. I didn't think I have COVID and just crippling fear because I was drinking too much White Claw. That is what happened. Happened last night. I thought a few days ago I gotten. If you're a fan of the podcast, if you're not, whatever. Why are you listening? There was a chicken sandwich episode last year. We talked about the Popeyes chicken sandwiches. I was a fan. I don't think it required a. I remember a year ago we had instead of like race riots or whatever's going, or riots against the police or whatever this is, COVID mask riots. We had the chicken sandwich riots. People were just bludgeoning each other in the streets, just biting each other's necks, biting each other's dicks, stabbing each other over which spicy chicken sandwich was better, the Popeyes or the Chick-fil-A. I mean, that was tinged with the, what was it? They're anti-gay. Are they anti-gay? I heard they're not anti-gay anymore. Why is that not being talked about more? Why are we not talking about the fact that Chick-fil-A has potentially bowed to, corporate pressure of the cancel mob, if you want to call it that, to not fund debt camps for gays or whatever what were they funding? Were they funding what are those camps? There was what's her name? Kelsey Gabbard have to apologize. Where they hold those, where they try to indoctrinate you, where they do the Clockwork Orange thing and they show you a cock or a vagina, depending on what kind of gay person you are, if you're a man or a woman or female or male. I don't know how to keep track anymore, but whatever. They show you whatever you want, and then they stab you in the little spike. And they go, don't suck that, or don't lick that, or don't get that in your ass. I don't know why Chick-fil-A was funding this. It seems like it's against. It doesn't seem profitable to me. It doesn't seem profitable. It's like, hey, do you think we should advertise more in the Detroit suburban, greater metropolitan area? No, I think what would be great for our business is if we shove spikes in the ass of people who want to fuck people who also have dicks or also have pussies, or that seems that's good marketing. That people will associate us with that. Well, why would that help? And it's like you gonna question me? I'm the big boss of Chick-fil-A. Let's go reassign sexuality. What are those things called? The term when they try to deprogram you, or whatever they fucking call it. The term for it, which was a live podcast. So, but reality, if it was a live podcast, I would just have a constant stream of people just saying you're fat, your tongue's too small. People think my tongue's too big for my mouth. It's too small for my mouth. I'm not sure if that's the problem. If that's why I speak the way I do. But my tongue's there's a creaking with the chair. I didn't used to use this chair for the podcast, so maybe I'll just not move as much. But people often say, your tongue is too big for your mouth. But it's a very small tongue. It's a tongue that barely I can't touch my nose with my tongue. I don't give a fuck. I mean, it's big enough to lick crushed up methamphetamine or whatever. So the point is, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I mean, so the chicken sandwich. I like the Popeyes chicken sandwich. I think it's a good sandwich. I think it's tasty. It's got pickle. It's got crispy chicken breast. It's nice. I mean, again, I don't understand. You can also make your own chicken sandwich. I don't. I make other things. We'll get to that later. What I'm making. It's gonna be very exciting. The ingredients are on their way as we speak, or they will be soon. They tell you these windows of time, 11 to 1, and I gotta make this fucking delicious treat. But I'm at the whim of some guy who's probably coughing into my ground sausage. But that's fine. I mean, you still tip the guy. Tip people. Tip they're out there in the COVID fields, fucking, the Khmer Rouge of coughing or whatever. Am I making light of Cambodia now? I don't know. Who cares? So yeah, Popeye's chicken sandwich. I saw a deal on Postmates because, excuse me, that's not a COVID cough. That's just, my throat. This really does creak a lot. This will be part of the show, the creaking chair. You hear the Diet Coke? This creaks so, oh my God, it's going to drive me nuts. The microphone, I should take my headphones off and just let you people deal with the creaking. No, but I saw a deal on Postmates because I usually use Seamless. I'm not sure why. I just got indoctrinated into the Seamless culture of, whatever. It's a more, with Seamless, they have their own people. Some guy sits in a deli and waits for you to order, roast beef sandwich with mozzarella and pickle juice. And when you order it, he works with the people, and then whatever. But Postmates, it's like a whole different thing where it's like you're just roaming around the city like a marauder. You're just some kind of crazy vagrant, perhaps a homeless man. I don't know, but you get a homeless man with a smartphone, which I guess the most of them have that. The most homeless people have smartphones nowadays. I mean, it must make being homeless a little less homeless feeling. I mean, I'm not trying to discount the troubles of being without a roof and, subject to the elements. But if you can watch a nice, Vine video, or where they have TikTok now, if you ever watch a TikTok dance while, you're being kicked by some guy who's like, he's trying to feed you dog shit. There's a guy recently, it was during the pandemic, I think, where he's feeding homeless people dog shit, like dog shit sandwiches. It's like, it's not fun. It's not fun because it's just low-hanging fruit. Jackass never, picked on the homeless. Tom Green never picked on the homeless. He went to his parents' house, and he put plaster statues, or maybe marble. I don't even know what kind of money he was rolling with. But I remember that great episode of Tom Green's show where he put a statue of his dad getting sucked off by his mom or fucking his mom in the ass on his front lawn. And his dad, you couldn't fake that. Like the Jackass dad, Bam Margera's dad, it was still fun, but I feel like they were in on it a lot of the time. But Tom Green's dad was so mad that time. I don't think I don't think it was a bit. I don't think it was a kayfabe. Is that what the wrestlers call it? I think he was just really mad that his son was putting a statue of him fucking his wife in the ass on his front lawn in the middle of Canada. And that's what art is. It's not picking on homeless people. Go to Goldman Sachs and just grab a guy. I'm not telling you to do it, but that would be art is what I'm saying. Don't do that. I can't advise that. But, if you did grab a banker, and I don't mean a bank teller. I mean, a guy selling derivatives and securitized torture. Can they securitize torture? They probably should. It might somehow offset. No, it never does. But I mean, the point is, that's what they're basically securitizing torture in an abstract way. It's what, don't think too hard about what I'm saying. Don't come back to me like you haven't read Schumpeter. You haven't read you haven't read Murray. First of all, I have read Murray Rothbard, not every fucking book. The guy wrote 15 books, and he was a smart guy, and he did a lot of research, but he failed to understand how, he was really smart, but also we're all idiots, so it's not going to work. Sorry, Murray. I love you. But, it's not going to work. As much as Marx is not going to work, Murray Rothbard's not going to work. I loved him, though. I have much more of a soft spot in my heart for Murray Rothbard, but whatever. Point is, if you really want to, if you get Timothy Geithner, if you don't know who he is, he's ex-chairman of the New York Fed who became the Treasury Secretary under Obama. He was there for the whole meltdown and the whole merging the banks together with each other. Why don't you fuck this guy and then you guys should have a bank together, Bank of America and, what was it, Morgan Stanley bought, I forget, you go watch Too Big to Fail. There's a whole, I know Bear Stearns got absorbed by, their assets got absorbed. What am I doing, the Charles Krautheimer, not Charles, who am I thinking of? Charles, who is that guy? Louis Somethingheimer. He used to do a financial show on Sunday mornings. He's probably too young for that. Probably around the time of Louis Runkhauser or something. It's not what I'm doing. We're talking about not feeding literal shit to the homeless. All right, it shouldn't be controversial. Don't know why it is. The point is, go feed it to a banker. Go if you get a banker to eat human shit, then I'll fucking go. All right, good on you. That's worth a follow. I'll follow you on Instagram or TikTok. If you get a guy who works for Halliburton to drink your piss, then it's cool. But like, it's just a dirtbag move. Like, oh, some homeless guy, some guy who's like living on the streets and just needs to eat, and like you gave him something to eat, and oh, surprise, it's shit. Like that's just like high school jock shit, which is never fun. I mean, like occasionally some of those guys were clever, but very rarely. And I was never a guy. I mean, I got picked on. I've talked about it before how I got slightly picked on at first, and then I started threatening to show up to these bullies' houses and shoot myself on their front lawn. And that they didn't know what to do with that, so they just said, "All right, we're gonna move to the next guy." And then I just started screaming crazy shit all the time, and then eventually got expelled. But I don't know. I was like a feral animal, kind of. But we weren't really allowed to fight. It wasn't a fighting school per se, because you got expelled right away. So I mean, if I went to I'm sure certain schools I went there and started screaming, I'm gonna shoot myself in the front. Like before I got shoot myself out, I would have gotten punched in the face and knocked out. But I didn't. So that's who I am. That I might have been a different man if someone punched me in the throat when I threatened to commit suicide. Maybe I'd be a better man. Maybe I'd be working for the military, building death robots, or trying to, quell the probably non-existent. I don't know. Is there violence in Portland or not? Who knows? That's the thing. We don't even know if there is. It's like you can't even trust the fact that there's, a riot to quell. I'm sure there's some violence. I'm sure there's some burning. There always seems to be lately, but it's definitely overstated, and I don't know why feds are shoving people into unmarked minivans. We can talk more about that later. Right now, I'm talking about the chicken sandwich, okay, and how I thought I had COVID. Basically, it was so seamless, right? So I went on Postmates, and I noticed that normally the chicken sandwich combo from Popeyes is like $20 on Seamless. I think it's like $10, but once you get their fees are crazy. I don't know what these fees are. There's a delivery fee and there's a handling fee. I guess Seamless absorbs. So it's like it works out to be $20. But basically, long story short, I could get a family chicken sandwich combo, which was 4 sandwiches, 4 biscuits, and a large side, Cajun fries, for like $20 or $22, and then you gotta give a guy a tip. You give a type of whatever. It came out to like $26 or something, 27. I don't know, whatever. It was so much cheaper, and I was like, "This is amazing." And then the guy came on a city bike. See, that's the problem with Postmates, is that these guys are a little less experienced. Hold on, I'm getting a fucking email. My order is shipped. My order from my supplies is shipped. I wonder if he'll show up in the middle of the podcast. Maybe we'll get him to talk. I can tell him what I'm planning on doing with these things. He can advise me. I'm gonna move this mic. I'm gonna try to sit still. So this chair is so noisy. The point is, so I got these 4 chicken sandwiches, but I'm on a city bike. And I can't come up. I'm like, all right, we'll just leave it on the floor. I guess I'll come down. But I guess he could sense my disappointment, which I wasn't trying to project too much. At that point, he seemed sketchy enough. It just seemed like a whole thing. Like, I'll buzz you in. You leave your bike in the lobby if you want. But he thought I meant leave the food in the lobby. I'm like, all right, just leave your food in the lobby then. He's like, oh, no, I don't want to inconvenience you, because I think he thought I wasn't going to get a tip, give him a tip. And, which I understand. I guess people just are playing, fast and loose with dropping your tips, which I try not to. It's a madhouse out there. But like, whatever, just leave it there. I'll be right down. He's like, I don't want to just leave it there. I'll be right down. So I put my shoes on. I head out, to my apartment. I go in the lobby. I realized that halfway through I forgot my mask. But it's like I'm just in the lobby, and this guy is just leaving the chicken. It's fine. I get down out of the elevator. Took the stairs down. I get out into my lobby, and the guy's coming in the door. He's not wearing a mask, and I'm not a fucking psychopath about wearing masks. But, I've been a hermit for 3 months. I don't go outside. This is New York City, right? I'm not living in one of these towns that's just starting to spike now. I've been living through, apparently they were stacking bodies a block from my house. I don't know. I didn't see it because I was inside, being a good boy, doing the right thing. And so I see this guy comes out, and he's not wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. And I'm just like, fine. So I just I try to do the whole nod. Like I grab it from him very quickly. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't want you to leave with food." He's like talking to me. It's like, I'm trying to. I mean, I don't want to be impolite, but it's like, stop. When you talk, things come out of your mouth. Because the thing is, like, if you're going around without a mask, like, am I crazy to think this guy is in my lobby who I'm talking to for 5 seconds? Yeah, maybe. But it's also like you're going around to Popeyes without a mask, and you're just driving a city bike, and it's like, I don't know what your deal is. Like, were you hanging around and you just got an order? So you're hanging around with other people, probably. This guy, I don't know what his deal is. So I'm a little concerned. And like, did I just, give myself COVID for 4 chicken sandwiches and a side of Cajun fries? Don't want that. Don't forget the biscuits. But even with the biscuits, it's not worth it. So it was a little concerning, but I ate my sandwiches. They were, Lucy didn't want. I was expecting her to eat 2 of them, but she apparently doesn't like chicken sandwiches. So I got stuck eating them, and then I ate too much, and whatever. That's not the point of the story. That I got indigestion and just felt like shit and fell asleep at 10 p.m. because I ate 4 chicken sandwiches over the course of 5 hours. That's not what this is about. The point is, yesterday we were drinking some White Claw after dinner. I made some chicken thighs and pasta for dinner. We ate it. It was lovely. And we were watching some TV. And Lucy went out and got some White Claw, which we enjoy. People shit on White Claw. I don't understand. I don't understand. I guess some people might call it bougie. Is that what the thing is? Is it bougie to drink White Claw? It's refreshing. What's wrong with it? Yeah, I used to funnel Jack Daniels through a funnel. Like people funnel with beer. Not every day, but I've done it. And I vomited and passed out. Point is, like, I've drinking shit bourbon. Even now, when I drink bourbon, Evan Williams isn't the best thing. It's good, but it's point is, like, I've drinking shit. I used to drink, Barton's vodka. Just shoving, I would just buy a fucking flask of it and just drink it warm out of my backpack when I was roaming around the city doing open mics. It's like, because drinks are expensive out there. But, and then I'm sure it's worse than Barton's. I mean, I've gotten sick of Georgie's pretty bad, too, in my opinion. I mean, I haven't drinking Georgie in a while. But I remember drinking 7 shots of it, like, one after another at some party. And just got really, it was like 19 probably. Whatever. Point is, I'm not some priss. I'm not a fancy bougie guy. But White Claw is nice. I mean, I drink it all the time. I mean, she likes it. I like it. It's pink grapefruit, lime, clementine flavor. These are nice things. Why can't we have nice things? Why am I made to feel like I'm less of a man? You're not. You can't do that. But I'm just saying, why is this an impulse in society to try to emasculate me because I like clementine flavored water beer? It's fine. It's nice. Stop giving me shit. So the point is, so we're drinking a few of these, and I guess I get a little clammy. I'm starting to get warm, and I'm tweeting at Brett Weinstein to suck my dick or something because Lucy got in something with him. You guys know Brett Weinstein. He's a guy. He does Rogan a bunch, and he's this guy who at Evergreen University, which is some place in I think Washington, but I could be totally wrong about that. But it seems like Washington. So one of these woke colleges a few years back that went crazy with the whole virtue signaling shit, and they kind of did like a weird soft riot where they had some day where white people stayed home to not be racist, which I don't really get, but he said no, I'm not going to do that. And it's just, I mean, honestly, the whole thing seemed crazy anyway, but they took that they called him a racist to try to get him fired, I think, and so he got some notoriety then because he fought back, and then they tried to do a sit-in and not let him piss. There was some story about him not being able to leave a room, which I would just start kicking these kids in the head. I don't know I really don't understand. I don't understand anyone who takes any shit from a kid. If I was a teacher, I'd be fired immediately. I'd just be punching college kids in the face. Just because I didn't like your face. I mean, I'll just punch you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the toughest guy ever, but I'll fucking beat up college kids. You know, I'm a full-grown man. I got my whole body's fused together with the muscles in the head. I worked in a potato bread warehouse. You know, I'm fab. I fucking know how I can lift heavy things to a point. You know, I'm a weightlifter, but and then point is, sorry, I'm just checking on the order to make sure my supply. I don't want to reveal it yet, but what I'm going to be concocting later, it's going to be nice. You have to see the follow-up podcast to hear how it goes. But yeah. So I'm getting clammy. I'm tweeting at Brett Weinstein, like, you know, why don't you suck my dick, daddy? Well, it was kind of fun, but, you know, I ended up deleting it just because it was a reply. I don't usually reply to things ever. If you reply to my tweets, good on you. I don't interact much on Twitter. If that's a problem, I apologize. I just, you know, I view it as a, you know, I spend enough time tweeting. I feel like, you know, if I start getting into the comments, I'll just be behind my life, and I don't whatever. I'm not gonna go find Howie Mandel and threaten to kill him. Hey Howie, you know, you're afraid of germs. How come you're not afraid of this knife? I mean, that would be a great tweet. I really want to tweet that now. Yeah, Mandel, you're so afraid of germs. Why aren't you afraid of this knife? I'll show a picture of my hand with a knife in it. I mean, that would be like, see. I don't think it would do that well in this climate, but I feel like that's the kind of Twitter I would thrive in. Violent. There's leftist Twitter. There's anarchist Twitter, I guess. There's sex Twitter, right? Or sexy Twitter. Sexy girl Twitter. Lesbian Twitter, probably gay. There's black. You ever gay with black Twitter, I guess, right? It's a big one. I remember hearing about black Twitter at one point years ago, and not even like, is this a separate tab? But apparently, it's just like the networks of people. We're all just kind of segregated naturally, or organically, or what's the word, or just like voluntarily. I don't know. I don't know how to get to these different Twitters. I guess you accumulate your followers, and that's like, I guess that's how people get these myopic viewpoints. I don't know. I mean, that's that black people have a monolithic viewpoint, but you know what I'm saying. It's just, you know, I don't know why this. I never understood these different Twitters, but I guess, you know, whoever follows you is your Twitter. So I whatever. If there's a violent Twitter where I can tweet that about Howie Mandel and actually get some action, cool. I mean, let me know. Let me know about violent Twitter. But the point is, I deleted this guy. I mean, I was starting to feel, because Lucy had pointed out that, you know, hey, are you getting clammy? Are you getting, like, you know, you seem hot and you're sweating, which I think it was, in hindsight, just the alcohol. But it put it in my head, and I started to feel like I had COVID. I had, you know, I spent 3 months, 4 months maybe, or 5. Who can even keep track anymore of how long I've been in this fucking quarantine? And, you know, has it all been for nothing? Have I contracted COVID because of that chicken sandwich motherfucker, and now I'm going to die? Is that possible? I don't know. I didn't know. I started to get really warm. My throat had hurt before, earlier. Not really hurt, like bad, but like just kind of a slight spot, swollen. So whatever. I'm not a hypochondriac. If I was, I don't think I'd be fat. I mean, can you be a fat hypochondriac? That seems bizarre. It's like, oh, I think something's killing me. Yeah, you're eating yourself to death. It's not imaginary. It's real. Stop doing it. I mean, it seems like you can't really do that, right? But point is, can you be a smoker, be a hypochondriac? Oh, I feel like, yes, stop drinking, you know, Everclear, which is a type of cleaner, I guess, alcohol-based cleaner. Stop drinking that. You're not a hypochondriac. You're poisoning yourself to death. So point is, I did spend about an hour before I fell asleep, kind of nervous I was going to die soon. And Lucy comforted me into a fat sleep. I'm not fat. You know, I mean, she's not fat. I'm fat. I mean, she just kind of caressed me as I fell asleep. And like Totoro. We watched My Neighbor Totoro, the Miyazaki film, the other night, which was, you know, it was nice. It's a very whimsical film. I see myself as a kind of Totoro. You can look him up. It's Totoro something. Look up My Neighbor Totoro. I gotta spell it now. Like Google knows if you brush your teeth, and like it'll advertise toothpaste that you just used to yourself. I'm like, I gotta spell Totoro. Figure it out. You know, we're not living in 1995 anymore. So yeah, so I thought I was going to die, but I woke up this morning and I felt basically fine. I feel the same awful I always feel in the morning, but, I felt basically fine. And, it was great. So, I don't have COVID, it seems like. It would seem really, poor judgment to have gotten it for a chicken sandwich. The only thing else I did besides the chicken sandwich was last week we went out. Lucy wanted to go. We were on like a staycation, I guess, from work. We work remotely, and we hadn't done anything, because what were we gonna do? There's plans to go out to see Tim, but we're not sure about the airports yet. We might, do something. I'm sure a lot of you listen to Tim. Most of you, all of you. Who knows? Point is, Tim's out there in L.A. or now it's the desert. I want to go to the desert, but the airports, I'm not sure. So I have to research different face tanks or whatever. So we ended up going slightly upstate, to a area to go on a hike with her brother. He picked us up, and we got an Uber up. It was expensive, but what are you gonna do? Train. What's the point of taking? Why? Well, I'm going to avoid the airport, take the train. I'm not trying to be psychotic here. If I had to go to work, and that sucks if you have to, some people have office jobs and they still have to go to work, which seems dumb on the office's point of, I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. I guess if you're building cars, if you're assembling vibrators, you can't do that from home. So whatever. But, point is, we got picked up. We went to this place to hike. It's crowded as all hell. I mean, it's not like stacked one after the other, but it's just more crowded than I thought it would be. And I asked Lucy, because I've been sitting around for 3 months. I wasn't in the best shape. I used to run 5 miles a day. I don't do that anymore. I'm overweight. But whatever. But I can power through. We went hiking last year. I was powering through shit. It was fine. I was sweaty. I was tired afterwards, but it was fine. I'm like, this is gonna be like a tough hike because even for me, I'm not in the best shape right now. Just haven't been, because I work like 2 or 3 miles from my apartment, so a lot of times we walk and we walk around. I live in Brooklyn. You walk around. It's just like even if you're not getting like a lot of cardio exercise, you're still getting you're a certain level of walking shape. Which at the moment I should be exercising more. I should be treating this like prison. Like where I'm exercising, like when there's like scenes like in Batman when he's exercising, doing push-ups in prison. I should do that. I should be Batman, but I'm not. So, we get there and it's the guy. It looks like one of those movies, like that movie Kill Bill, where the guy's going up like all those stairs when they go see was it Pao Mei? The ancient Chinese, I believe, kung fu master. He's at the top of a hill. It's like that, but but it wasn't even steps. It was like just these like fucking like staggered stones. And I'm not trying to make it out to be like, oh, I'm not in shit. Yeah, I'm just saying like this is not exactly a light hike, not by a stretch. And I powered through it. I was a little pissed even when I first saw it. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you telling me this is the light? Like this is gonna be a problem. Cause it's dauntingly. It's kind of thing where it's like you can't even see the whole thing, of course. So I'm like, maybe I'll just start hiking. And I start hiking for a while. I'm just powering through. I don't know what the alternative is because, I have a stronger lower half than some people because, you're carrying weight, whatever. And I'm not going to, lose my dignity or whatever. So I'm just going to power through. But it's basically like doing squats for fucking, 10 minutes, going up this hill. And it's never ending. And then for a certain point, I said, you want to stop. And I'm just panting. Not in like a passive way. If someone came up to me, I would try to stab them just to maintain my manhood. But no. So that case, maybe I could have gotten COVID from one of those passerby hikers as I was panting, breathing, struggling up a mountain. Seemed like a not relaxing vacation. So, but I seem to be fine. Is the point? I seem to be doing A-okay. Don't have COVID. So, it's fine. Little creek. Yeah, so I ordered some stuff from Amazon Fresh. Not to give. I mean, should I not be advertising them? I don't know. But the point is, I'm gonna make a Scotch egg. Now, if you haven't heard of a Scotch egg, it's a fantastic looking thing. I never tried one, but I watch a lot of British shows like The Office, the original one, or like I don't know if they have a Scotch egg in Peep Show. I love Peep. If you haven't seen Peep Show, go watch Peep Show. It's on Hulu. Great show. The guy who creates Succession was one of the creators of Peep Show, which I didn't realize at first, but it makes sense. But Scotch egg is basically a hard-boiled egg and wrapped in sausage meat and breadcrumbs and minced onion, garlic, dry minced onion. So it looks good. I mean, I don't think it's going to take much of the podcast up describing them. I built it up. I built this up like Alex Jones, teasing that, Michelle Obama's mother-in-law was, Hitler's daughter, whatever the hell he talks about. He teased it for 6 commercial breaks, 6 ad breaks, and just turns out I'm talking about making a Scotch egg. Who cares? Could have pointed that mic towards me the whole time. There we go. Look at that. Is that better? Let me know if it's the second half is better. Or second whatever the podcast. If this point on sounds better, I guess I can listen to myself and just figure it out. I just crowdsource my goddamn audio tips. Are we a little rusty today? I don't know. I haven't done this in a while. This is what you want. You wanted the podcast, you're getting it. We're back, baby. Yeah, shit's going crazy out there. I don't understand the left. The whole thing with the left. The leftists. I mean, I didn't even realize they were such a uniformly. I knew they liked Bernie, right? But this idea of these self-described leftists and how much they hate winning, it seems like. Because look, I get it. Don't tell me how the fucking Democratic Party is basically the same as the Republican Party. Is it? Have I been saying that since I was fucking 18? I'm enough of you fucking 19-year-olds running around acting like you just read Howard Zinn and you're gonna fucking impress me with how fucking disaffected you are. You realize how cynical I've been for how many years? I worked in a fucking morgue, in the potato bread warehouse, and the mosquito lab, and you're gonna tell me about fucking human, tragedy? Shut up. All right? It's just fetishization of this purity test they want to put in everything. And this infighting of leftists is just insane. They fucking, they argue more about like Chapo, the people from Chapo. I just saw a tweet yesterday where someone was tweeting about the people from Chapo having tweeted about the Portland, the minivan thing, where the feds are throwing protesters in unmarked minivans, which I mentioned before. But one of the people, what's the other one? The Red Scare, which I guess was Marxist but isn't Marxist. Who can keep track? I mean, I guess if you, in their point of view, I guess they think that like their ideas are all so dangerous, and Marxism is so dangerous that. Hello, it's Lucy. Lucy, the phone's going off. I was just talking about the leftists. Hello, can you turn the alarm off, please, baby? And come back out here. That's my girlfriend, Lucy. She's just woken up. Can you turn the alarm off? Thank you. And then come back out. I think she's in a stupor right now. She's probably just trying to get to the bathroom. And I've ambushed her. I was secretly podcasting in the living room. And she didn't know. Lucy, come over here. Yeah, I'm podcasting. Say hello. Come say hello. I've explained that you just woke up. You don't have to impress them.
I'm ready.
You very tired?
Mm-hmm.
I was explaining earlier how I thought I had COVID, but you caressed me into a stupor, a total sleep.
Yeah, I cuddled you.
She cuddled me, and she did put the seed in my head that I thought I had COVID.
Well, I did you say we should keep an eye on it because you had a sore throat, yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
But then I cuddled you when you got nervous.
She's very sweet. I love you, baby.
I love you so much.
She stumbles out to go to the bathroom, and I put her on a podcast. I'm a terrible boyfriend. What are they talking about? Leftists. Yeah, it's just this whole, I don't know. I'm not even sure what Red Scare is, but I guess they think their ideas are so subversive that, they're being infiltrated by government units, and so therefore they have to constantly keep track of who's who's taking the fucking bait, who's done the Joe Pantaleone thing from the Matrix and sold out their crew. Like, I think people think, hey Lucy, do the leftists, because Lucy's closer to the leftists than I am, do the leftists think that the Red Scare girls sold out to the corporate interests?
I have no idea. I haven't gotten that deep on them.
It seems like it, though. It seems like they don't respect them, right?
Well, I think some people just think they're kind of mean.
Oh, well, I'm mean. I was just telling people earlier.
You're sweet.
I was telling people earlier how I'm going to tweet at Howie Mandel, hey, you're a fucking germaphobe. Why don't you be afraid of this knife? See? It works. I don't need you people to validate me. Lucy thinks I'm funny. Hey, I love you too, baby. I mean, they're mean. I thought it was because they're whatever. But I see this whole thing corporate infighting. It's rambling. This is a rambling podcast. Don't worry about it. The point is, there's a purity extremism to them, which you can obviously see. But it's also like it's like a role playing game. It's like playing D&D with like corporate politics. I don't understand. I don't understand the. I mean, look. Of course, I'm all on the whole. I mean, look. Terry Crews gets shit for the whole. So Terry Crews fucking says, let's make sure Black Lives Matter doesn't become Black Lives Better. Which, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. He's a rich guy. The tweet's a little aloof. It's a little like, all right, come on, be a little aware of how this is going to read. But, like, still, the level of vitriol people bring at the guy when he's just trying to be, like, he doesn't like Black Lives Matter. Now, I'm all for the whole movement. But, the organization itself, I'm not saying it's an evil, but they're a self-confessed Marxist organization that, on their charter or whatever, their stated goals, one of them is getting rid of the nuclear family, which seems weird and counterintuitive, and, like, Terry Crews doesn't agree with that. Also, some guys on ESPN that I was watching didn't agree with it. It's not, like, it seems like a weird thing to put in your, like, when your whole goal is to get the cops to stop committing violence against your community, to also, it's like, and also, no more indoor plumbing. It's like, what? What are we doing? Why are we on this? Like, I thought we were against police violence. And also, we want to switch to a 13-month calendar. Like, what? It's better for farming. It's not bad. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't want to get mired in a discussion about how many months are optimal for, a farming calendar when we're trying to, get the cops to stop shooting black people. It seems irrelevant to the point. So, again, should Terry Crews have been so aloof? I mean, but why is the price for aloofness to be eviscerated? Oh, look, and the whole fucking document with the goddamn Harper's letter. Harper is basically, concoct some publicity stunt. Let's be honest, it's a publicity stunt. What the fuck is Harper's? Harper's seems like it started as some kind of, I mean, prove me wrong. I don't care. But if you had to ask me to guess how did Harper's Magazine start, I'd say they're probably a catalog for like slave stuff, like slave material. Like all these fucking things started so shadily. I don't think Harper's is like, I'm not going to trust the intentions of Harper's. Now you'll probably tell me they didn't do that. That they weren't an almanac and a catalog for slave materials. And by that I don't mean black people. I mean whatever the ancillary stuff for slaving. Whatever, the ships. I'm sure you can provide plenty of evidence that I'm just talking out my ass. But my point is not that. I'm correct. The point is that I don't know who the fuck trusts Harper's. Harper. I mean, I've heard they don't pay their interns. I mean, that's debatable. Like, whatever. I mean, I'm not. I don't know if that's really relevant to the point. But I don't trust them. But that being said, they have a letter, basically saying, it's co-signed by 400 people that people attribute to cancel culture. I mean, I feel like they were talking a lot about academic shit too, but I guess the cancel culture was part of it. But like the general tenor of discussion in this country has gone a little haywire. That people just want to kind of just have a shouting match and and yell over you and basically do like a scarlet letter, like, where it's going to kind of go shame, shame, and not actually ever debate a point, which is a lot of truth to that. Is it 100% true? Of course not. It's a fucking weird, slave ship magazine or something that, that's doing a publicity stunt. Why would it be the most, potently, beautiful letter? No, it's a little bit muddled, and people are mad at, J.K. Rowling and Barry Weiss signed it. I mean, the point, look, free speech is important. Now, it would be a better case to make if so many of the people advocating for free speech, and the only ones advocating for free speech, weren't only like the dog whistling racist types. If you want free, you should want free speech, and what you should be doing is advocating for free speech while not being a psychotic racist or, like, at the very least, a fucking just shock jockey fucking shitty comic or whatever the fuck wants to say the N-word or make fun of Asian people, whatever the fuck you want to do. It's like, yeah, you take it back. Don't let these people own it. But the concept is important. So, and like, I feel like the letter was relatively benign. People are going after Chomsky. Now, like, I don't know. This is the problem with the left. It's like, yeah, I'm all for a lot of left shit. I mean, healthcare and, look, fuck it. I mean, I'm at heart a free market kind of guy. But I mean, what are we in right now? This is almost over. People kind of come at me. I feel like people come at me and go, Marxism and socialism. Yeah, I've read Hayek, all right? And I've read Orwell. And I've read plenty of, Rothbard and fucking Mises and fucking Bombadirk. Bombavirk? Eugene Bombavirk? Whatever, the old school Austrians. I mean, I've read this shit. And Henry Hazlitt and all this shit. But, at the end of the day, where are we? We've allowed, your free market idealism aside, we've allowed, a corporate kleptocracy to rise up in this country. I mean, the medical insurance company, if you're a free market guy and you think the health insurance industry is like some kind of like natural, oh no, you have a right to choose, like, fuck you then, because you just don't understand the cartelization of this entire industry. I'm not going to get into the whole thing now, but the point is, you're an idiot if you can't recognize that we've allowed this whole thing. Civilization is not like, these aren't absolute morals, right? I can say fucking a kid is absolutely evil, right? But socialism isn't absolutely, I think it has tendencies, right? Now, I can say, look, all things being equal, you're better off having a free market. It's more productive. It's more this, more that. Sure. And I'm all for it. But if we're going to allow whatever the country is now to exist, then we've already lost that battle. So shut the fuck up. And just, I'm just saying, just miss it out of hand. It's like, oh, didn't you read fucking Road to Serfdom? Yeah, we read Road to Serfdom. Well, what could happen if so? You have a fucking psychopath telling people not. I mean, look, I don't understand the mask thing. I don't know if anyone listening is a mask truther. They did 9/11. All right, I'm not one of these guys going to the government's some great fucking thing they weren't or whatever the fuck. They did 9/11. They ran secret torture prisons. All right, they fucking started the Iraq War under completely false lying pretenses. Not just false, but they cooked the books on it. All right, the fucking multiple surveillance scandals. There was a one back in like 2005 or something, and then the Snowden thing came out. WikiLeaks is fucking putting Chelsea Manning naked in solitary confinement for 3 years because she leaked some documents pertaining to this stuff. Not just like leaking like, stealth bomber specs, but like, about this shit. Linked to WikiLeaks, right? They transferred wealth to billionaires twice now in the past 10 years or whatever, 12 years. I mean, this most recent one, trillions of dollars. And no, but they want you to wear a mask. That's their end game. That's how they get you to submit. Wear a mask. That's their whole. That's how they. No, it's a way. It's a way of priming you to accept. You've accepted it all. They don't need to prime you with a mask. You've accepted the whole goddamn thing. What are they priming you for? What resistance were you demonstrating? I don't understand. Like, and the people not wearing the mask aren't the people who are like, what? That's the problem, man. Maybe they should. Maybe in future generations, because we all seem to be getting on board with the fact that the deep state exists. I never called it the deep state. That seems to be a, whatever, a QAnon, Trumpy kind of, but whatever, the amorphous interconnection of finance and intelligence and the military-industrial complex, and corporations and whatever. This isn't some monolith. But the point is, like, the mass, I mean, unless you believe in the Satan, there's some people who, like, the Temple of Bat? It's like a ball. They show pictures of people in ball gags in the Middle Ages, which I don't think there was ever a real empire. I think it's like a Zack Snyder, 300 depiction of the Persian Empire or something, or some other jingoistic shit, where, like, they show pictures of slaves in ball gags, like sexual ball gags being like whipped like by a guy on I don't know. It was like a guy with like Satan tails. That they're already doing it. The Satanism. If these guys are Satanists, that would be the least offensive thing about it. All right, they just kill children at whim. They rape children. They fucking start wars which kill millions of people. They fucking poison water supplies. And you're worrying about what fake god they worship? Who gives a shit? They're Satanists. Is it worse that they're fucking kids in a goat mask? I don't understand. Doesn't matter if they're Satanists. Let them worship either one. I don't care. They're doing bad shit. They've been doing it. They're going to keep doing it. And they don't care if you wear... And also, the guy in charge is telling you not to wear the mask. So how is this like subversive to do? I mean, wear it or don't wear it, but don't... I don't understand this whole like submission thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. But how do we get on this? The left? Socialism? I don't know. But they seem to infight a lot. The purity test. I mean, Terry Crews... I mean, he's doing fine. He's got a great body, and he's fucking rich, so he'll be fine. So I'm gonna make my Scotch egg. It's gonna be wonderful, and we're all gonna enjoy ourselves. We're gonna get through this. I don't have COVID. I'm back. Next week will be a little more focused, or not. If you've listened to this before, you know this shit ain't focused. I don't focus. It's a rambling, interconnected web of chaos, and sometimes it works out. So the chair, I'll listen to the episode. We'll see how squeaky the chair is. I can hear it now, probably. I'll try to muffle that. Maybe I'll get some WD-40. Now, how do I start this fucking... I don't know. But, yeah, so, this is gonna be the regular show. The Patreon's coming back soon, too. Just, in a day or two. Probably 2 days. So you can find my page. You can see my Twitter page. You can see my Patreon if you want to sign up for the Patreon. That'll be every week, an extra episode. And follow me on Twitter at Ray Kump, Instagram at Ray Kump, and enjoy and stay safe and try not to succumb to the Temple of Bath, or I don't know. Just have a great day. I'll see you soon.